and welcome to all the students joining us. If you have got any questions, feel free to text and then drop it in the comments on anything. If we can see your comments, we may respond, but we cannot guarantee because we have got a tight schedules. So I think to kickstart today's section, we have actually swapped the schedule a little bit. I would like to get our world champions to kickstart with these sections. That is basically Cameron and Ajit. And why don't Cameron and Ajit, you two briefly introduce on your project Hollo and who you are?
Sure. So I'm Cameron, and this is Ajit. Our third co-founder is a little busy right now and can't join us. So I'm a undergraduate here at HKU doing molecular biology and biotech. And we started this Hollo project around 2 years ago, actually, and it's kind of grown a lot since then. And this is Ajit.
Yep.
Ajit, go for it.
Final year computer science student. I took a year off, actually. I was doing my internship while working with Hollo as well. And now I'm going to go back to my final year. So yeah, I found Cameron through a mutual friend last year, and we've been working together for about 10 months now.
Thank you, you two. And actually for all the students, and the good things about doing the online section is that if you don't know what is Hollo, you can actually get on or open another page and just search Hollo to see what you can find over there. So meanwhile, and why don't you two actually and talk a little bit about what Hollo is doing? Although sure. I expect the students you can actually search it as well, but I think nothing is better than you two talking about it.
Definitely, thanks, Joseph. So what Hollo is basically a mental health platform connecting users with their therapists and NGOs. And so what we noticed was a lot of young people weren't really aware of the mental illnesses that they were experiencing, or weren't even sure if they should be seeking out help. So we wanted to kind of fill that gap using technology. And so we pivoted a lot over the last 2 years and finally arrived at the model we're at now, which is basically using technology to help screen mental health. And so what we do is use the technology like heart rate analysis through facial recognition, and we use AI and big data to try and kind of show like mental health trends over time. And so this is super useful for the professionals, and we're super excited for what the future has for us.
And so basically you are actually also super relevant to our STEM symposium in this event. The reason is that for all the students, when you are trying to learn from STEM and also to use STEM to work out your project or your innovations, you basically need to combine the technology and also what is your core problem, what is the key things you want to solve. And so I think this also brings to the point that maybe you can actually share about, Cameron and Ajit, you two can actually share about how does empathy, or basically what we call the understanding of the target users, play a part in the technological development of Hollo?
Sure. So I think I'll talk a little bit, and then I think Ajit wants to follow up. So I think for us, really, the beginning point for Hollo was really to understand the problem. And I think for a lot of startups, they may have that like product solution fit or market solution fit, but they don't really have that product. Yeah. So basically they have like a problem solution fit, but they don't have that problem market solution fit. So that means like the people that actually experience the problems aren't really being addressed. Like their major pain points aren't being addressed. So what we really did was try to understand and interview a lot of the young people going through their issues and a lot of the professionals to really understand how we can actually use the technology for them. Because in the end, if we have a really great tech and it doesn't solve their problem, in the end, it's not going to really help anybody.
And Ajit, do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yep. So also, I think a major pain point that a lot of people feel is that, and also for myself, I've also done therapy a bit. I know the experience. I feel like there's a lot of gap in between going to the therapy sessions, and that causes a lot of like missed knowledge and missed information I could be talking to my therapist about, because I might miss it on a daily basis. And from that perspective as well, there's a lot of value to be had with Hollo. And another thing that in the development phase is that we put a premium on making it accessible, because we feel like the whole point is that mental health is stigmatized and not understood in society. And the best way to go about making this happen is making it as accessible as possible. So we focus on making a mobile app and only really making the assumption that people will have a mobile app, because even variables are just too much of an assumption, and we want to make it accessible.
Okay, so throughout this Hollow, if I call it the STEM journey, I assume that you have got a lot of different challenges, a lot of different hurdles. So can you share a little bit of your experience and how you have actually overcome them?
Sure. So a lot of the problems we came across were really trying to find some form of credibility in a startup, especially as students. A lot of the time when you go out to the market and try to do something a bit more technologically advanced like us, that's touching like on the edge of healthcare, the sort of idea of credibility is very big for us. And so being able to talk about like to cater to the users and really test the idea, it was really difficult for us to sort of justify our technology. Because if you think about like lean startup, it's all about like trying something fast, failing fast, and moving forward. But for something as like nuanced and I think a little bit more of a sensitive topic like mental health, it was a little bit difficult for us to follow that. And so we had to find a really niche position for ourselves to test. And I think that's why or that's definitely why we started with the and helping the NGOs on the front line, rather than just going to some insurance company or going to some corporate and saying, "Hey, here's our technology, use it for your staff or use it for your programs." And I think this way we're really grounding ourselves with the front line of mental health issues. And I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges that I faced for our project. I think Ajit might have something on tech or.
Really just addressing privacy and making sure that from the ground up, privacy is a core concern, and that all private information will be kept that way. Yeah.
So I think what I would like to a little bit sum up is that when we see Hollow is a successful stories, you are again you are the world champion. It's not like that you have come up with a good idea just yesterday and everyone hey we love it and then we give you the prize. It's even for yourself you actually start as you mentioned 2 years ago and then you keep on building up the credibility and then you keep on looking at the different issue that you want to develop, you test, and then you refine, and then of course I'm sure that your journey still keep going. But actually, I would say throughout the 2 years, your product has been developed quite a lot, and I think this is also when we are looking at STEM, when we are looking at design thinking, this is what we keep on encourage the students or the ones who is looking at design thinking to do it this way. So I think you two are very good examples. So let's bring to almost like the last questions is how do you think about the role of learning and also in the environment of Hong Kong U during your Hollow journey? So how do you think the two are closely related? Of course, it needs to have you two, you and also you three. You are with smart, and then you form a core team. But how about Hong Kong U and the learning environment?
Yeah, so I think actually the entire project of Hollow, and for me personally, learning about social innovation is really owed to one of the courses I randomly took, actually with Gloria here. And so this was in year 2, and I think that really facilitated our learning of um, what social innovation is, what design thinking is, and really framed our mindset to really understand that side of the world. Because for me, coming from a science background, I had no real idea about social innovation in business. So it was a huge learning curve for me. But not only that, like Idendron at HKU, which is our entrepreneurship hub, really like supported our startup and gave us a lot of learning and a lot of workshops for us to attend to. And so I think being facilitated by the university and even the science entrepreneurship minor that I'm in at the moment really helped me learn from a science perspective how we can actually take the innovations and apply it in real life and make it financially viable. And I think that's really important.
Okay, thank you, Cameron. How about you, Ajit?
I think the networking effect in HKU is among the best in all of Hong Kong. There are so many students that are talented and working on projects. That's also how I met Cameron, is through mutual friends. So the networking really was, for me, a key thing. And also the fact that we have Idendron in HKU, that I was even able to actually work as an intern for 1.5 years in Idendron before I joined Hollo. There's so many opportunities to learn and so many opportunities to work before you even go into after you're done with university, right? So even before that, even before you graduate, there's so many opportunities. It's and networking. Those are my main things. Yeah.
I reckon that throughout this STEM symposium, you are going to meet actually a lot of the, I would say, good network and a lot of smart students as well. So maybe you can actually consider looking at any student would like to work with you as intern, and you probably would try to find really good intern over there as well. And any final word? I think really the final questions towards today's section is any final words for our students?
Definitely. I think this is a piece of advice I always try to give students that are interested in entrepreneurship. I think it's really important for us to try, no matter what background you're from, try to find something that you're passionate about and figure out a way that you can find a meaningful way to work in this area. For me, I no longer really felt like the work I was doing in my degree was that meaningful. So I wanted to find a perspective that I could apply some of the knowledge I knew and create a new career path for myself and not be afraid to try something new, because in the end, we still have our degrees, we're still very employable. And I think it's a really great learning experience regardless of the result.
Oh. And Ajit, any final word?
Yeah, I think adding on to Cameron's point of the career path, I don't think there is any right path to take. It's really just your experiences, and all of them work together in your favor. So keep making the best use of your opportunities in Hong Kong U, and get more experiences, and you'll eventually make a right path that's suitable for you. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we come to the point that although I would love to keep on talking to you two, and even for myself, I would love to learn from you and from your projects, but I think we need to find another chance so that we get our students to do their project. And so thank you very much, Cameron. Thank you very much, Ajit, and have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you.